So, ArtFight, huh? It's one of the bigger art events that take place on the internet that surely most of you have heard of, or at least seen unfold at a distance. For a single month each year, from July 1st to August 1st, a big social art gifting game called ArtFight is held, where artists get to choose a team and go back and forth gifting strangers, friends, or family art of their characters, which count as attacks and give you points. All the points are then collected and calculated at the end of the month, and a winning team is decided. But regardless whichever team won by points, everyone still wins in the end, having received gift art from somebody else. Many large and small artists have taken part for a number of years now, with the site hitting its 10th anniversary. But even then, ArtFight is older than that, originating back in 2007, having been hosted on smaller forum sites previously, as well as having run on another site from 2013 to 2015. But like I said, most of you already know about ArtFight, and probably know this information, so I can save myself another 5-minute ramble and paraphrasing from the site's about page. This is all to say, despite having been on the internet for over a good 10 years now, I've never taken part in one. I don't think I ever fully understood the concept back then to really want to take part, kind of assuming it was more for higher grade digital artists than I was with my Splatoon drawings on a cheap knockoff tablet. But then when I realized it was for anybody and you're open to using different mediums like traditional art, I still felt a little embarrassed by my art quality and didn't want to take part again. So come 2020, when you couldn't really do anything outside and my life was ruled by Animal Crossing New Horizons, I was a lot more confident in my art and considered taking part. However, I got a little busy in July going on August and decided, I'll do it next year. Then the next year came around and I got busy again, and then I pushed it to next year, which then I pushed it off again, and again, and it was finally last year when I realized, while I was busy and swamped with work and trying to make YouTube videos now, I had pushed off ArtFight for another year, coming up 5 years of doing so. Was I ever going to do it? If I just keep pushing this off at any inconvenience, will I ever get around to doing it? And before I know it, it might even be too late, and ArtFight could just outright disappear, and I'll just be left as an artist thinking, wow, why did I never try it? Well, the time for trying is now, because I want to try and break this cycle of pressure and procrastination and take part in my first ArtFight, and I want to bring you guys along with me throughout the month. Show you the ups, the downs, my process, my failed schedules, and maybe try and make it look a little less scary to some of you who also have doubts. Because if my 5-year lazy self can finally find the confidence to go for it, I hope you can too. However, before we begin, I do just want to preface, while I am intending for this video to be genuine and my honest thoughts during the event, I also have to point out the bias and hypocrisy in the room. This is a heavily edited and streamlined version of a whole month's worth of content. While it might look easy and like I'm being extra productive, you're only really seeing the highlights and finished pieces, not a lot of the stress or the indecision that comes with trying to make the art, especially attacks for people who you don't know and you want to make the best art you can for them, while respecting their permissions and guides. Additionally, I also have to point out, some of our experiences will be a little different, as I'm a little bit of a larger artist. Surprisingly, I have an audience, like you guys watching this. Who are you people? And people acknowledge or recognize my artwork on other social platforms. So when setting up to do ArtFight, I already had people following me or commenting they were going to attack me, which, to try and keep humble here, a lot of you did. Concerningly so, because that number really started to feel pressuring halfway through. But I can't thank each and every one of you enough. Every piece was beautiful in their own way and genuinely heartwarming to me. So I intend to show them all off at the end with their credited art file profiles for you guys to go check those users out. But this is to say, a lot of my attacks were fan art. Lovely fan art, don't get it twisted, but a lot of people who already knew me through my videos and were previously intending to draw for me before, using ArtFight as an opportunity to do so. So I don't want anyone going in comparing numbers, or getting a false idea that just because you take part in ArtFight, your Cs are going to get drawn 100 times by all sorts of different artists. Because in reality, it's going to be more in the single or double digits. If you're looking to get noticed and attacked more, just remember, while ArtFight is a gifting event, it's also still a social event. The more you talk, post, interact, and comment on the site or other platforms, like the ArtFight Discord server, the more you'll be seen and known, and therefore more likely to be attacked by others. But also, don't just take part because you want attacks and fan art. It's a big gifting community event, and you should be using it to discover and meet new artists, find some niche aesthetics you've never heard of, or experiment and explore your art while gifting back to others. That was my very long-winded way of saying, everyone's ArtFight experience is going to be different, so don't try and use my first experience condensed to a month's recap with an already established audience as an exact scenario of how it will go, and what you should do. What you really should be doing is taking part in ArtFight because you want to have fun and gift back to other artists. That's what I'm going in for. And after all this talking, I think it's about time we finally start going into the rest of the video now. Before we can jump into doing some art attacks, I've still got to set up my profile and characters. How else is everyone going to know who to draw? Plus, it's like the middle of June. I've still got plenty of time to collect their images and make some reference sheets just to act as a guide for some people. So I'll get on that eventually. Yeah, I left everything until the last 2 days. This section is just going to be me quickly speeding through my whole character process, while some reference sheet speed paints run in the back. So to start us off, I just want to clarify, I didn't have to do these, and nor do you have to make a reference sheet for a character. I really recommend VildrArt's latest video on ArtFight, where he gives really good advice on what you should need for a character page, how to present your profile, and my favourite of all of them, suggesting you focus on having 5 complete OCs instead of burning out trying to add all of them. I don't want to parrot the video because I think you should go watch it yourself, but I'm just bringing it up to reiterate how I set my scope a little smaller and focused on primary information. I kept it to 3 OCs, which eventually expanded to 5, so only made references for those 3 I thought needed it, like Starry, Nana, and Alpine, who I wanted to either update their designs or give some story/lore to so people could have more ideas of what to draw them doing or dressed up as. For most of my OCs, I was just reusing content, such as Andrea's case, where I just uploaded all the pics I drew of her during OCtober last year, and for Dodie, I drew these reference sheets years ago, and even if I didn't have them, I would have just focused on uploading some basic art I've done of her. There's no need to burn yourself out doing a reference sheet. Only make one if you have time, energy, and the desire to. Regardless of how detailed or strict a reference is, people are going to draw or slightly tweak your character to fit their style anyway, so maybe focus on getting the core aspects of that character across first. I wanted to make a cute reference to Starry and Nana, so did so, and I think theirs turned out fantastic. Starry's name and the button color swatches are so cute, and I loved updating Nana's look, and reiterating that she always needs to have some sort of hair fence no matter what style she has them up in. So with the reference sheets all finished up, and their character pages filled out literally hours before ArtFight would begin, along with me finishing my profile, I was finally all set up and ready to go and start attacking people. My goal for my first year was to keep it simple, and attack at least 20 people. Spoiler alert, I don't end up keeping the pieces very simple, but I won't tell you if I hit my 20 goal just yet. You'll have to watch the rest of the video to see that. So without further ado, who's my first ever victim going to be? COGOICO. For my first attack, like ever, I of course wanted to start off strong and pull no punches. But I also didn't want to burn out immediately, so to avoid that, along with crumbling of the weight of who to choose as my first, I played a very safe move, attacking my partner, COGOICO, specifically of his 2 OCs from his original Yaoi mecha story, Gale and Caleb. Now, I've been meaning to do fan art of them for quite a while since he finalized the designs and story, and wanting to give them a break from their ever so dystopian political drama, the end times are incoming and we can't escape the corporate hands who control us like pawns, by going on a cafe date. The concept was to have 2 pieces, each being a picture of the other posing with their parfait, all being Gale's idea, who poses much more photogenically and thought out, compared to Caleb, who misunderstood the assignment and is halfway done with his. And while I could have just done this all on one extended canvas and count it as a 2-character attack, I made them separate with the intent of printing them off and creating little matching photo card keychains. Something we haven't done with them yet, but I thought could make for a fun activity, as well as just a good way to play around and have fun with your OCs some more. I don't know what else I can add to the speed paint. The background is a simple collage that flips in both colors and sides, so they both counter yet complement one another. All except their initials, of course, because Caleb's stupid big bar hand took up all the space on the right side, so I had to keep his initial on the left, which now throws off the whole mirror symmetry look I was going for. But it's okay, he's just a big teddy bear. I can forgive him. But will the world forgive him for his war crimes? Find out more whenever the hell my boyfriend decides to post them on social media. And here's both pieces all finished up, which I think looks super cute. The colours are nice and warm, using the pencil brush made the whole thing feel a little rougher and more natural, and it all just comes across as something simple and sweet to start us off. Also, I made a really cool effect when uploading them, so they each look like the other half of the picture, and I just thought that was neat. But enough about Mecha Yaoi and playing it safe. It's time we move on and really start tackling ArtFight head on. muffinzxdd. Since I basically did 2 attacks on my first target, I thought it maybe makes sense to formulate a sort of pattern to help try and plan my attacks going forward, with my aim being to do a regular attack and then a revenge on someone. That way, I was still going through my list of people I wanted to draw for, while also tackling my big and ever-growing list of revenges that was starting to pile up more and more and be a little overbearing. Spoiler alert, this plan of action doesn't last very long, but I have to give myself some props for at least trying something here. So, having to do a revenge next, I picked at random who I'd target, and the person it landed on was muffinzxdd, who had attacked me drawing a super cute Nana piece, and so I had to draw something cute back. I initially wanted to draw their persona Muffin, who has this cute green alien look. You know, drawing a green alien for drawing a green alien. However, I then noticed they had fruit OCs, especially an apple one. And it was already decided just like that, I was drawing the apple. I am but a humble servant to fruit character design, I'm so sorry. I love Muffin's art style, so I didn't actually want to try and change or adapt it too much into my own, otherwise I feel like part of the character was going to get lost. So I tried my best imitating parts of their style, but still keep a little twist on it, with this one being lineless. I was heavily inspired by this piece I found on Pinterest like months ago, and had inspired me on another picture previously, so reheating my own nachos, I wanted to do the same sort of hair silhouette that's actually the background silhouette. But this one will fit really nicely, as it would sell the image of Apple being, well, an apple more. There's not too much I can really add, as I think the speed paint is pretty quick and speaks for itself. I tried adding in some gradients and textures in there for a little more depth and contrast, but overall, I was just drawing a really good character design, which just made things run really smoothly. I think my only regret I would say is that Apple actually has a girlfriend, Banana, who I sort of wish I had done a matching piece of, because I clearly just love doing matching couple attacks. She just has a very cute design, and I feel like they work really well as a pair, but also I don't want to overwork myself so early into the month, like this is day 2 or 3 at this point, and to keep doing double attacks would be a bit much, so she got cut, but man, am I still thinking about her. And here's the piece all finished up. Like I said, very simple and speaks for itself, but I still think it turned out super cute, and was definitely a fun style test for me to try out. And Muffin, I swear, one day, I'll be back to do that second attack with Banana. Aurora Alpenrose. Back to an attack. This time we have someone who's actually appeared on the channel before, Aurora Alpenrose. Specifically in my October video, where they predicted I was doing an art challenge video like day 2 or 3 into it. Anyway, other than seeing them on ArtFight, I also happened to see an Ever After High OC, Lucy the Snake, daughter of the White Snake Servant, and with that, I already knew what I had to do. Draw her in my Ever After High redesign style. Not wanting to just do a basic standing piece like I usually would for the Ever After High cast. Like, seriously, don't count how many of them have a raised knee pose or one leg in front of the other. So I tried doing a more leisurely sitting down pose, inspired by this piece, but with her right hand raised to her face, so she could have her hair curled around it like a snake, you know, referencing her name and tail. Unlike what I do with some of the others later, I didn't want to change or alter Lucy's outfit too much, because like, come on, this is stunning! So much in a way that I don't think I actually did it justice. Like my other Ever After High pieces, I used a thicker line art, which doesn't really help in capturing finer details, especially in the silky see-through material, which ends up clumping in specific areas, making it look way more weighty than I think it should. But perhaps I'm just being too harsh on myself. It's been a while since I've drawn this sort of style, which is no subtle way of me dropping hints that maybe it's time I get back to it and start working on that part 3. But also, to be fair, I'm not using my usual Cintiq tablet here, which has all the fun pen pressure and space to it. Instead, using a smaller, more portable pen tablet. So I'm doing the best of what I can here. Plus, I was also using this as a test to see how quickly I could draw a full body piece with lighting and shading, which took about 4 to 5 hours. Maybe not the best time management for a quicker attack, but you'd also think that'd be a wake-up call for me not to do that for multiple pieces going forward, right? Foreshadowing, ooh. Although, one more whack I just have to make. The gold and the jewelry being clumped together is certainly an artistic choice on my part. I must admit, I'm so sorry, Aurora. I might drop the ball a little bit here. But either way, I think the final piece still turned out super cute. I love how the pose turned out, and especially how the hair turned out and is framed too. As well, it just felt great drawing some Ever After High related content again. So I hope you guys like it too. AlienRattt. Still keeping on track with that schedule, our next piece was a revenge, and this one was a special one, as I was revenging AlienRattt, the first person who attacked me as soon as ArtFight started. I mean, other than the fact I was considering revenging the first person to attack me either way, this one actually goes a little deeper than that, as they actually commented on one of my videos earlier in the month asking if I was going to take part in ArtFight this year and to get my username. Only to then follow up that comment pointing out that there was an account with my name on the site that looked kind of empty and shifty and could possibly be a scam account. It was my legitimate account. I just hadn't finished setting up my profile or uploading the characters yet. It was all funny and easily cleared up, but when I tell you, I felt so embarrassed that I immediately started to assemble and pretty up my page, because what do you mean I looked shifty enough to people that they might consider me to be a scammer? Okay, but enough with the pity party. Alien had prepped to attack me early and gotten there first, so now it was time for me to get my revenge, and revenge is what I did. They only had 3 OCs to choose from, and I decided to pick Omar and Marcus, as they were both boyfriends, which made pairing them up easier. But keeping up with my goal to experiment, I wanted to try something a little more different and out of the box, by putting them in boxes. I framed the piece to be like that of a mood board aesthetic post, having headshots of Omar and Marcus in opposite corners with their coincided boxes featuring animals tied to them, something I thought that was a cute detail in their bios. All topped off with some simple Y2K flourishes here and there, like stars, swirls, and Fruitico backgrounds that I love reusing in all of my works, dating back from my Question Girls video. Because I mean, when you make 7 different unique backgrounds for one video that no one pointed out or complimented, you're gonna start reusing them until someone acknowledges your work. Both were pretty fun adapting into my style, trying to keep in mind their features like eyeliner or piercings and beauty marks, but one thing I will point out is I did struggle a bit with Marcus's hair, as I couldn't read if it was meant to be locks, braids, or just straight blunt cut layered hair. I could have just asked which one it was, but I think that would have spoiled the surprise, so I kind of just drew it to be vaguely both, drawing it like it was blunt straight cut hair, but then adding in extra detailing and overlapping of strands to make it look more like locks. I don't know, without the more shading and lighting, it looks a bit flat, but at least I'm happy with how the rest of him turned out. And here's the final piece of them, and I think once all finished it came together really well. I could have maybe added Pell in there to make for an even 6 mood board look with the whole gang being together, but maybe I'll just have to draw her another day. But I especially love how Omar turned out. He just looks super cute and I'm really happy of how cool his piercings look. But enough gushing, let's keep these attacks rolling. Speoff. Now, this piece originally started out as an attack, however, while I was prepping it, I actually got attacked by set user, Speoff, meaning this piece is now a revenge, and now you can see where the cracks in my schedule are starting to appear. But we'll deal with that later. Now, Speoff is an artist I found over on TikTok, where they drew some fan art of my strawberry shortcake redesign in one of their art challenges. All their art is super cute and bubbly, and seeing them promote their profile, I knew I had to attack them. However, I made the crucial mistake of following their page first, kind of alerting my presence, and I got attacked the same day when I went to bed. So, with my plan out the window, it was time to go all out on a revenge, I suppose. Just like how their attack on me was magazine themed, I wanted to do the same thing back, being heavily inspired by the cover of Freeway, a single by Solaris. I was picturing this sort of Sex and the City photo shoot look, sounding campy in 2000s, with Speoff getting caught mid-shopping trip and striking a pose, showing off her pastel mismatched outfit, contrasted against this graphic background. To be honest, their persona's color scheme was already perfect, so it made assembling the whole piece a lot of fun, heavily leaning on this hot pink and yellow colors, which worked perfectly together. Now I get why Draculara liked wearing it so much in G1. As for the magazine graphics, I kept it pretty simple, as despite wanting it to resemble that of a cover, I didn't want it to cover up I get it. Get the joke. Shut up. No, I'm such a fat fucking shut. But I didn't want it to cover up the whole piece. So I instead went for a more Vogue approach, with Speoff being the model who grabs you and makes you want to pick it up. Well, that and it's a volume 1. So it's actually a bold decision to rely on its fashion to speak to the viewer to buy it, and less about selling itself. You probably guessed just from the way I talked about making it, but I love this piece. I think it's so bright and vibrant, along with the silhouette background. This is some peak Alpine graphic design for once. So I hope you guys love how it looks too. Mielly. Since we just had 2 revenges back to back, I thought it made sense to try and get back on schedule with an attack. This one being something I've planned for a long time, as is of Miellies, or as they go by in other socials, Yours, Frutica Metro character Prisma. Now, I've been following Mielly for quite a while now, and I love their character designs and approach to it, with my favourite of theirs being this character, Prisma, who's based off the aesthetic Frutica Metro. And I mean, just look at her, this is stunning. So I just knew out of anyone to pick for an attack, it had to be her. My main idea was to reference that one butterfly gif with Kelsey Ferguson holding onto her headphones while butterflies fly past. Something TikTok comments love spamming when they find a new song or remix. However, as I started drawing, I found myself shifting slowly more and more away from the vision into, like, I suppose, my own take on it. So instead, Prisma is now just centered left, holding her headphones, while Frutica Metro waves and bubbles flow past, with of course cute little butterflies in there to link back to the original reference idea, all topped off with a lot, and I mean a lot of halftone dots scattered about. I'm not really sure what else I could say, so I'm sorry if this section is going to be a little shorter than the others that we've had, but I just really enjoyed making this piece. I went in with a strong vision, I knew what I wanted to do, I had plenty of references for Frutica Metro, and I think it turned out fantastic. So how about we see that final piece? And here's the finished look. And like I said, I'm really proud of how the whole thing turned out. I mean, I do think I could have pushed the background assets and features a little more, really crammed in as much as I could into the space. But I think the subdued amount used was a better choice in the long run. And again, I think it looks fantastic. And also, Mielly liked it, so I win. ArtFight's over. See you all next year, right? Okay, joke's over. We still got like 14 more pieces to go. So, let's go. SimpleIsNoob. If you're keeping up with the pattern here, then you'll know the next piece is a revenge. This time for SimpleIsNoob, someone who attacked me by drawing Alpine, and someone who I want to get back at due to his OCs and his art style give me Sonic Adventure vibes. And having practiced that style in my 10 art styles video last year, last year? And I've only put 7 other videos out since then?
Ah, okay.
Oops. But I thought, why not try and draw their OC, Yoni Mellows? Truthfully, I did initially want to draw Ellie, however, I wanted to try and keep a balance with drawing some more boys in here, since, as you can see by my channel, I do love to draw a lot of girls and feminine designs most of the time, so nothing wrong with pushing out the boat a little here. With this piece, I don't think there's too much I can exactly comment on here, because it sort of speaks for itself. I said I wanted to do a Sonic Adventure style, so I lent into doing one, giving Yoni a dramatic and flowing pose, making the lineup more weighty and thinned in parts, as well as having flat colours with gradient shading and lighting on top. And the background design is of course a reference to the introduction cards to stages, as well as the Sonic Adventure 2 recap screen, where it's the character's signature colour with them overlaid in the background. And here's the piece all finished up. Like I said, not too much I can comment on. I think it just looks and jumps out like a Sonic Adventure inspired piece. I'm especially proud of Yoni's face, mainly his eyes, as I think that's the bit that's most accurate to style. But overall, I thought it was really fun taking Yoni back to some of his inspiration roots and making him feel right at home with Sonic and the gang. So I hope you guys like it too. Inkiio. Most of you here probably know who Inkiio is, right? A fellow ArtTuber, MLP fan, Fix-It Felix's husband. Also kind of my boss occasionally, since I've edited for bro twice and he's still not let me leave the editing closet. Please help. Tell anybody. I'm begging you, please. But it was actually Inkiio's video about their experience doing ArtFight the first time last year that really inspired me to try doing it myself. I don't know, you always see a lot of ArtFight videos by creators, including my own really, talking about the positives of everything and showing their best sides, sort of selling this big grand vision of the event, when that's not entirely reflective of the real thing, or what the average artist will experience. So, watching a video by a larger artist and an ArtTuber I've been watching for ages, one of them that inspired me enough to try doing it myself, be open and clear with the struggles they went through during ArtFight, from stress, art block, general busyness of life, felt very reassuring and actually quite inspiring. Everybody has their own take and perspective on ArtFight and how you do it, but this was one of the videos I felt helped demystify it the most to me, and reiterate this is a fun gifting art event, whether to your friends, family, strangers, or even if you draw only one piece the whole month, regardless of time or quality. As long as you try your best, that's what matters the most. Also, before anyone starts commenting and putting words in my mouth here, no, I'm not saying no other YouTuber or artist has made a video being real or genuine about ArtFight, or that all of them are selling some big fake image of it. There are plenty of artists that keep it real and supportive that I recommend you guys go check out before running headfirst into ArtFight. Those more edited down and positive videos are still just as important and keep showcasing ArtFight to more and more people each year. I just liked Inkiio's video, and felt it jumped out to me while still keeping a fairly upbeat vibe to the whole thing too. Anyway, sappy essay stuff out the way, this is all just to say I really wanted to attack Inkiio, specifically their Yume OC, Mitsuo, who they ship with Kyoya from Oran High School Host Club. And that's what I did, going with a very chibi cartoony style, something akin to Pantene stocking with the shape language designs, but still with my own twist on things and a little more rounded off. When I tell you, the whole thing was just me working off of a vibe and taking creative liberties with every step, but the whole thing turned out so good anyway. So who's winning now? So much so, I don't really know what else I can say since I was just ad-libbing the whole thing. How about we just head over to the finished piece instead? And here's the finished attack, and I love it. Like I literally just said, the whole thing turned out so well, from the chibi style, half-tone highlights on the characters, wispy border framed with yellow and pink roses. It's just so cute and way better than what I was initially imagining. Also, Inkiio seemed to like it, so win! Yay! Gattskin. From an attack to a revenge, we're back revenging yet another ArtTuber, this time being Gattskin, an artist who does a range from redesigns, commentary, and animation videos. They got me with an attack of Dodie, my old horror comic book character, so I thought it made sense to attack one of their comic characters, specifically the character Azor from Liminal, Lost and Found. A quick short synopsis. A bunch of characters from all different worlds have accidentally ended up in the backrooms, and now roam various liminal spaces trying to survive and find the exit, Azor being one of them. I really liked her simple and clean futuristic design, kinda reminded me of the Starman design from Earthbound, so I knew I just had to draw her in some cool Y2K look to match her futuristic vibe. So I did a simple full body pose, making it look like she's scanning or calling someone in, as a half bust drawing looms in the back with her pressing a hand against the screen, hoping to break free of wherever she's ended up. For colours, I kept it simple just like Azor's palette, using more yellows and purples to pop against her white and lapis lazuli blue. To tie it back to the whole liminal space vibe, I hard overlaid the pool rooms in the back, referencing one of Azor's images, while also just feeling like the whole white tiles and saturated blue water fit her vibe and colours. And for extra touches, that's where the Y2K flair comes in a bit, having these cool tech-like borders, and a fun, wacky font for the comic's title, Azor's name, and the brief paragraph excerpt, which is just literally the first few lines of the Wikipedia article for Azor, referencing how apparently she tends to explain or describe things by just listing information as if it's from a Wikipedia article. And here's the finished piece, which I think turned out great. I really love how vibrant and striking the whole thing is, while also hiding a bunch of cute secrets you might not realize at first glance. Since Gattskin put so much effort into Dodie, I thought it was only fair doing the same thing. Either way, I really love how this looks, and I hope you do too. Hey there! Today's video is sponsored by me. If you've ever wanted a sneak peek at what I get up to between video releases, you can find out over on my Patreon. Each tier will give you access to all the behind the scene bits that go into the making of all my videos on this channel, including sneak peeks at upcoming content, breakdowns on scrapped concepts and designs, animatics ranging from early drafts to unseen animation trends, and occasionally some mini podcast type videos explaining more about the characters and lore in some of my projects and worlds. You may even get to see some early exclusive art from time to time. So whether you pay £2, £5 or £10, you'll always be kept in the loop and help support both me and the channel. However, higher tiers still come with some perks, such as the £5 sapling tier getting your name featured in the video, and the £10 squibbling tier even having your name read out along with a personalised low poly bust drawing, which you'll get to see some of those at the end of the video. Once again, any support means a lot and will be super appreciated. But I've kept you all long enough, let's get back to the video. Alocowberry. Now for another revenge? Yeah, so it was around this point the pattern was getting thrown out the window, but to be fair, we're hitting the halfway mark now, so at least I can say I got through most of the month before losing track and having to reshuffle my plans. But once again, we're attacking another artuber. Again. Like, third one in a row, damn. But certainly not the last you'll see. I mean, Muffins is also not a YouTuber, I might have forgot to bring that up earlier. But back on track, I'm revenging alocowberry, or rather, Zomberry, an artist who does a range of content from redesigns, commentary, and designing beautiful women. They had a lot of great characters to choose from to attack, and while I was initially planning to do one of his alien OCs, I ended up actually choosing their cyberpunk OC, Faye, since I had a really cool idea in mind to do for her. I was really inspired by this specific Pinterest piece that I've had sitting around in my boards for quite a while, imagining what if I pushed it a little more to sell it as this cool graphical neon holo poster, promoting her talent for the bar she works at. At first, I've got to be honest, I was struggling to find the vision. I think where the initial sketch had line art, it helped make the details clear and separate parts more, but where I was trying to do this lineless style, along with these bold, unnatural neon colours, I was struggling to really connect everything together and make it fit. However, perseverance is key, as I have no clue what really changed while I kept working at it, but eventually I did start liking it a lot more, and maybe it was just because it was so different and out of my usual style, it felt a little more exciting, or perhaps I was just really excited to slap a bunch of grainy textures and filters all over it. Who knows? Either way, I think it led to a final result I'm really proud to show off. And here's that final piece all finished up. And I just love how cool it turned out. Some of you might have noticed there's some extra details added, like face tattoos and eye connector, which I forgot to include when initially drawing and uploading the attack, so ended up adding them in post. You also might be curious, where are any of the textures or effects I was talking about adding? Well, right here in these alts I made, where I ended up changing some of the piece's saturations and colours. I'm a really big fan of this one in particular, but sometimes you just can't beat the original clean look. But who knows, maybe let me know which cool cyberpunk piece was your fave. Toasted worms. Okay, enough revenging fellow artubers, it's time I do an actual attack and choose someone random, which led to me finding toasted worms. I can't exactly remember how I found their profile, but the characters and art style were just too pretty not to attack. They just have such a specific way of using colours and patterns that I love, and especially on a specific green alien, Theo. Come on, I've been wanting to draw a typical alien OC for most of this event, and now is my chance to finally do so. So, seeing that they were all for changing up wardrobes, I followed Theo's recommendations on his aesthetic Pinterest board, and tried going for this more natural twee cottage vibe with lots of layers, polka dots, and buttons, all framed to kind of look like a photo shoot collage, specifically one from the 3DS fashion game, Girls Fashion Shoot. Despite how up my alley this seemed, I can't lie to you guys, I was surprisingly struggling actually drawing it. I think Theo as a base turned out fine, but something about the outfit I was trying just didn't click for me. Like, it didn't feel too inspired or twee enough, but sorta just fine and maybe too feminine? I don't know, I think it just might have been a case of me overlooking it, and it's actually fine, as I do think the colours started to come together pretty well towards the end, especially once I started to make the pink crafty background to match the whole outfit's crafty vibe. But at the same time, something just feels a little off in a way that I can't place my finger on. But also, I can't get bogged down on tiny details and staying on a single piece for too long if I want to get around to doing everyone. So for this once, I'll just have to bite a bullet and accept it for how it is. Which, speaking of, here's the whole thing finished up. And I do think the final piece looks super adorable. I love finally having an excuse to use this cool swirly vintage font I've had sitting around for ages. And I do think the outfit paired with the rest of the general aesthetic helps pop it out some more. So maybe that's the problem I was having. Either way, I still like it and I hope you do too. Pipartz. Alright, by this point of the month, I was starting to crack under the pressure a bit of how many attacks I was getting, as while it's super sweet and nice receiving such amazing art from so many different people, I started to feel like I was a bit undeserving of it, especially when I was barely even revenging most of them. Something I did give a heads up about on my profile, since I knew realistically I couldn't revenge everyone, nor should I drop all my previous plans or attacks just to do so, as it's not like people are attacking me for the chance of a revenge, more so just attacking me out of fun or having time to gift something. But regardless, I was starting to feel conflicted, and felt I needed to step up my game a bit. So revenge time it is, and the first victim being pipartz. Like everyone else in this video, they had a lot of great OCs to choose from, and once again, I was planning on doing their alien OC, Angel. I just wanted to draw some aliens, but I keep changing my mind and it's getting really annoying. However, I ended up picking their persona Pip, who I thought had a super cute alicorn design with such a well-balanced simple colour palette. And in my usual Alpine manner, we're doing a magazine cover look. How original. I'm so funny, another Squidward bit. Posing wise, I went for a half body look, with Pip resting their hands while pointing at the camera. And I just want to say, are the hands maybe too big? Yes. Are they possibly some of the best I've ever drawn though? 100%. I'm sorry, I don't care if they're not proportioned right, because they still look pretty. Rule of cool or whatever they say in D&D. I also leant more into the whole magazine cover aspect, much more than Speoff's, as having a simpler patchwork felt background meant I could utilize the space for more text, since I felt less cautionary about covering the work up. As for the text, I just played it simple. A little blurb here, small reference to character there, all topped off with the borders, from the little clover logo in the top left to the simplified Pip at the bottom posing. And here's the finished piece, and I think it turned out so much better than I imagined. Bright, pastel, vibrant, I just think it's neat. Although I might have gone a bit overboard with Pip's eyes. They're a little bit too big and piercing now, I think. Give me big anime eyes. But either way, I still like it, and I hope you do too. Lovebytz. So, we're over the halfway mark now, where I ended up getting a bit busy for a week straight with life stuff, and also seeing Adarashi Gakko live. But you're probably wondering why I'm bringing this up to you, dear viewer. I could have just skipped past this with editing and acted like I didn't have any time problems at all, and everything went super smoothly and amazingly for my first ArtFight experience. Could this be me trying to be more genuine and down to earth with you all, showing the imperfections in my process? Nah, it's more just to say I got sick, with it badly affecting my throat. And that kind of domino affected the rest of the month because I suddenly did not feel well enough to draw the many multiple pieces that I wanted to, and instead just prioritized hitting that 20 attacks goal I set, focusing on making the remaining 7 pieces I had left look as best as they could. But with it messing up my throat, it leads to a funny Easter egg in this video. See, I recorded it in 2 parts, just to help speed up the preparation and editing process, since I do want this video to come out in the first week of August when ArtFight is still relevant, and not 3 months late like I usually would with most of my content. But it means if you listen closely, you can hear my voice begin to start croaking early on, before we hit this later section where I'm recording this now, kind of just coming out of recovery. Some of you might wonder why I didn't just wait 3 days and re-record the whole thing once my voice is all better. But where's the fun in that? We get rare smoker voice outpine for this video, and I think that's funny. But enough rambling on, let's get back on track. Coming off my week break, it was time for another revenge, this time for someone who attacked me very early on, and whose work I really, really love. Why? It's another fellow arttuber, Lovebytz. And this is another person I was very excited to finally have a chance at attacking, because I just love his stuff. His character designs never miss, and I love to see what new styles he's come up with for his OCs. Just like how I can't wait to see what videos he's also cooking up, just as you should be too. I had a lot of characters to choose from, and I was originally juggling between one of his many magical girls. However, I ended up settling on Eden, as I thought her more earthy colours might pop out compared to the more pastel pinks I've been drawing a lot of so far. As well, when I first saw her design, I could only think of a Fatal Frame PS2 horror protagonist outfit, and I fell in love instantly with it, so she was getting attacked. The piece itself went through a bit of a journey, as I was originally planning a half-body look, with Eden holding a camera, referencing Fatal Frame and how I saw her as a horror protagonist design. However, I didn't feel it fit her character. So instead, I wanted to try pushing myself a bit more, leading me to try drawing her in a more laid-back sitting position, something to really show off my fave aspects of the design, like the boots, jacket, and necklace, while eating cutely smile, showing off her religious bunny plush charm like it's a rare Labubu. I have the one and only religious trauma Labubu. Lining the whole thing went really smoothly for once, as I tried being a little more shaky and rough to make for a more wobbly boiled effect, and as for the background, I went for my usual crafty collage style, with felt patches, lacy trims, and a stark striped wall with an image of Eden overlaid on top. And here's the whole finished piece, and I love it. I'm so glad I took the risk and changed my initial plan, because this is 10 times more interesting, and Eden just looks so cute. I really love her face, as well as her wild and blunt hair. Overall, I think a really strong comeback after my little break, and it made me really excited to start attacking other people again. Maslosthingyz. Keeping this revenge train going, our next victim is none other than Maslosthingyz, who I saw had a strawberry shortcake OC called S'mores, which, just like seeing an Ever After High OC, I knew I had to draw immediately, specifically in my more cartoony shortcake style. Now, S'mores actually had two designs to choose from, with Maslow accounting for a more original 1980s look, as well as a 2003 reboot look, which I chose to adapt the latter. As cute and adorable the 80s version was, I think something more grounded and realistic fits the shapy and sharp cartoony style more, and also meant I didn't have to think about what details to reduce or cut out entirely. As for the 2003 look, she just has a bucket straw hat, shirt with a little bow tie, tucked into shorts, and tall knee-high boots. Keeping up with the shortcake style, I did also give S'mores a subtle pattern on some of her clothes, specifically her white shirt and boots. Nothing crazy, just a simple floral design to tie her into the others, and give her a little more detail, as I was a bit worried about the design looking too simple. I don't know, the style is meant to be simple, but I feel like the whole piece just looked really lacking in something, but I couldn't figure out what that something was. So I just kept going back and forth before having to push through and finish the attack, as I was beginning to overthink everything and want to restart, which I didn't really want to do as I'm meant to be finishing attacks off, not starting new ones. The last thing that was left was the background, which I think definitely turned out cute. Other than defaulting to my usual pastel pink, which in this case is meant to be more connected to strawberry shortcake, so hear me out on this one, I was trying to make it appear like that of a dessert display with the stripes and doily, matching how s'mores are a dessert and a sweet treat. And here's the final piece, which I think looks adorable. I don't know why I was having such a hard time with this piece in particular, as with the background, everything started to come together, but I think after making some small tweaks, like making her lips more pronounced, it's a whole lot stronger for me, as I think she definitely looks more like S'mores now. Maybe that was the problem I was having, the character not looking like themselves. Either way, I'm glad with how it turned out, and I hope you are too. Amilocore. Okay, I've done like 3 revenges in a row, spaced out over the span of nearly 2 weeks, and starting to feel like I was falling into only revenges, as well as attacking a lot of mutuals. I decided to find a few random people to attack, specifically using ArtFight's Discover feature, where I can just click and get presented with a random character. Something I totally forgot about after the first week and then never used again. Until now! After scanning through a lot of different options, especially a lot of warrior cat furries, but I don't really know how to draw much Anthro, so sorry about that, I came across Amilocore's character, Manaya, and there was something about her bright colours, rainbow hair, swirly cheeks that just made me really like her and want to attack. Since she was giving a bit of that Y2K Renaissance fashion with the crop top and wide baggy jeans, I decided I wanted to lean full force into Y2K for inspiration, specifically that fisheye lens perspective a lot of photo shoots and covers love to use. However, instead of just drawing a sketch, fisheye filtering it, then redrawing it to match the new angle, my smartass decided to draw it at an already forced perspective, with a head and hand being bigger and the lower body being smaller. That was a choice, and led to a very odd perspective with the bottom half just looking really flat now. But we live and we learn, we don't judge here, and we look the other way because at this point my head was hurting, my throat felt like it was on fire, so I think that gives me a pass, yeah? Yeah. Anyway, remember how I wanted a Y2K fisheye lens photoshoot look? Well, it's somehow evolved into a more sticker sheet background concept. I think I kept looking at the reference page and really liked the rainbow and unicorn stickers all over it, so wanted to decorate the page with more glittery stickers, while also outlining Minaya to look like she's a big sticker herself. And here's the piece all done, and I still think it's really cute. Despite the perspective not really working or making sense, I think Minaya looks adorable, and I really love adding her star highlights in. That, and with the background, it makes it look like she went into a wacky photo booth that added a bunch of fun effects around her. Either way, a fun character to find and attack, and one I'm really happy with, so I hope you are too. ShrimplyStatic. Okay, back with a revenge, because I had 2 more I wanted to make. This one being for ShrimplyStatic, who I knew I had to get back at. They attacked me very early on in the month, during my OC Starry with their OC of the same name, Starry. So I totally had to draw their Starry back. She's a hologram model for a fashion company in a futuristic world, which means free range to dress her up and draw her however I want. I decided on something very Y2K, a la Fruitiger Metro, to match her hot pinks and blacks in her colour scheme, and frame the whole piece to look like a sort of advert showcasing something. However, while I kept the Fruitiger part of the outfit, I ended up swapping the Metro for Aero instead, thinking the green, blue and whites better contrasted against her in the background, while also meaning I could do some more striking makeup colours that accentuated her red eye. The whole piece was very inspired by this one Japanese phone ad, and while I do wish I could have added some more movement or sense of direction in there, I still think she's hitting that pose well, and the whole thing almost comes across as some sort of photocard merch. I don't think there's much else I can say about the piece, so here's the finished look. And I think it's fantastic. While Starry did look cute, I think the moment I added the background and the whole futuristic vibe, it came together perfectly and sold it as some sort of fashion ad. I just love how she turned out, and I hope you do too. Dr. PB&J. Back with another random character discovered, this time we have Emerus Deplorable, created by Dr. PB&J. Emerus really jumped out to me for his cool ethereal design, but also because his silhouette reminded me that of a jellyfish. However, I was just planning on doing another half-body piece, so it's not like you were going to see that unless I pointed it out to you. His outfit just had so many little details and layers, along with all the frills, that I just really wanted to draw it and try doing some sort of simple but cute spooky piece. While my last piece might have suffered from feeling too still, I wanted to remedy that with this one, making Emerus look like he was floating and mid-movement, hair boundless and flowing, and arm frills appearing to float. Not too sure what else I can say about the line art and colouring, as it was pretty simple and clean. When you walk away, don't make me say this, oh baby, don't go simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let you go. But it's when I got to the shading and lighting that things started to get interesting, as I used a dark purple shading to dramatically frame Emerus, while also overlaying his line art a few times to add a white ghostly silhouette effect around his form, along with faint lighting on his clothes and hair, since he's not really a physical being, meaning there isn't much of a surface for light to bounce off of. And yet I hear you guys ask, but there is for shading? How about we stop talking for a little while? And here's the piece all finished up, and I really love it. Not having the energy to do anything else just meant I was locked in on art for a bit, and I think for these last few pieces I just really nailed executing what I had in mind down to paper, or rather tablet. Either way, a really cute piece for a really cute character. Chimisann. For our final revenge today, we also have our final artuber, Chimisann, another amazing artist who does redesigns, art challenges, and story times over on her channel. All her artwork has this really lovely rendered effect to it that I just love, and I did want to attack her at some point anyway, so hopping online one day and seeing she'd attack me first was a great excuse for a revenge. I already knew who I wanted to attack, either Melanie or Nova, or even both of them together considering they're sisters. But I'm only drawing one character today, so Melanie it is. I just like the shape of her hair a bit more. It's got those fun twist strands around the ends that I like drawing in my character's hair too. Since the characters are still in high school, I thought to frame the piece like it was a promo image, or a character introduction in an opening, with Melanie leaning against some lockers dramatically. Although, I can't lie, it did take everything in my body not to try and make a Class of '09 reference.
I'm watching Drake and Josh, this better be really fucking good.
Because Melanie is leaning against some lockers, it also meant I had to step up my game for the background for once, as I was no longer just doing some abstract pattern like I would immediately go for, but rather a prop background now. And I think the props turned out alright. I just drew a 2-locker design unit and then pasted it like 3 times before perspective shifting, as well as changing the colours for some of them just to add a bit more depth and break up repetitiveness. Nothing too dramatic, but something I think really helps sell the piece more in the final look. Which, speaking of, here's the finished piece. And I think it turned out even better than I expected. The whole thing just has such a cool framing to it, from Melanie's flowing hair, the shading and lighting on her, all topped off with her academic beveled name on the left-hand side. I just love it, and I hope you do too. Wookiepookie.
We did it, Joe.
Going to hit your ArtFight goal this year.
We hit lucky number 20, meaning I hit my goal for ArtFight this year. But maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit. Who exactly was lucky number 20 and my nearly final piece? Well, I wanted to do another random character attack. However, instead of using ArtFight's Discover feature, I did something I didn't consider all month. Check my comments. Yeah, I kind of forgot you can comment on people's profiles, which I saw people had commented on mine. So, clicking on wookiepookie here, I decided to draw their character, Cleo. I realized I hadn't done many other species this month, and seeing a beautiful mermaid siren hybrid with a cute outfit and color palette, I thought she'd be the perfect finale. Well, near finale. I still do have an extra piece after this, since I was still riding that productivity wave from being sick. Like the others, we're playing it simple with just a half body. Something that maybe doesn't work as well on a mermaid siren, since it means her tail isn't fully visible, but all her scales and gills are, so I think that's got to count. My idea for the piece was very safe. Just have Cleo doing a cute pose with her hands doing that semi-touching pyramid gesture. I don't know what to call it, it's just one I've seen in anime before and I thought to use it here. Once again, not too much I can comment on the line art and colouring, as it's just thick lines again with colours pulled straight from the reference. However, it was all the extra effects again that I think elevated the whole piece. When shading and highlighting Cleo, I wanted her to come across as wet and shiny, like she's still fresh out the water. Or maybe in the water? I don't know, she's got legs, so I kind of assume she can walk to different places if she so desired. Wait, back on track. I also added an overlay layer of a surface of water, along with a layer of Cleo's line art but in white and wave warped to be very low opacity, all to give this wavy, watery vibe, because mermaid siren, you know? And to top it all off, spamming my usual collage assets. This time being some cute shiny stickers of a cloud, raindrops and stars, along with Cleo's silhouette being the same shiny holographic texture as the stickers too. And here's the piece all finished up, and I think it looks fantastic. Cleo was such a joy to draw, and I love how flowy she came across. From her bellowing wavy hair to the folds in her clothes. I don't know, it could be biased for being number 20, but I just love how she looks, so I hope you do too. ScarredLove. Now for the real final attack. That's right, even though I hit my goal, I technically did 21 pieces this year. Just like how we started the month, I thought to end it the same way, attacking someone I know IRL. So, a little safe and cheaty, but I get to decide who I want to attack, and I wanted to attack ScarredLove. Now, Scar had a lot of characters to choose from, but I didn't want to draw any animatronics or complicated body parts, which definitely made choosing difficult. But while I don't like drawing robots, I do like to draw angels, which was great when I saw Penelope, or rather, Penny. I've got to be honest, this whole piece is built on vibes and dreams alone. I do not have much of a reasoning or explanation for most of these decisions here. Like, I saw she liked keeping her dorm cozy and wears jumpers, so I kind of assumed that she'd like cute and cozy clothes too, and gave her this cute poncho with bell bottoms. However, then the bell bottoms looked too basic, so I just slapped on some frills on there based off my Winx Club redesign video and what I gave Bloom, which was based off Read from Reverse 1999. So we've got a reference to a reference here. Then when it came to the background, I literally just did whatever. Because Penny's an angel with lots of gold accents, I associated that with this like regal vintage vibe, so found this older floral wallpaper that I wanted to be more minty teal to pop her reds and browns some more. Then, continuing with the regal vibe, I found these frame borders that I've coloured a matching gold, threw in some plaid and lace for a cute cozy vibe, and then sprinkled a lot of images in there, from an old looking clock because it looked cool, to these shine lines that I thought looked quite holy and could kind of match the sort of shine lines you might see emitting from Halo. And as for a name, I just had the Celestial font that I use since it's round and regal, and it looked like it fit right in. Like I said, not much of a plan, truly just going off what looks cool and fits the vibe here, and I think it all does. And here's the last piece all finished up. And do you see why I went with the vibes? This looks so cool! I think Penny turned out super cute, and I'm really proud of her clothes folds, as well as subtle detailing in the poncho, as well as the background, which I had no idea how it connects to her in any way, but it looks good, so it gets a pass. Either way, I think it was a fun piece to end my art fight on, and I hope you do too. And just like that, art fight's already over. Despite having a whole month to attack people, it really does end up flying by, and before you realize it, you've barely attacked most of the people you wanted to in the first place. Although, I'm still happy I hit my 20 attacks goal, and just a little bit over. But a little sad to see there's a few people I didn't manage to either attack or get revenge on this year. However, turns out ArtFight this year got delayed a day, due to the outage that occurred on the 1st of July when the event began. So they were just making up for time they'd missed out on. But I ended up using that extra day to upload a bunch of sketch attacks to people whose pieces I didn't get around to finishing. They're all just basic line art, single block colour sketches, as you can see by the selection scrolling by on screen. And I used the description to explain my concepts and what I initially planned for, as well as in some cases promise to either upload it as fan art someday, or attack them next year hopefully. While they are attacks, I'm not entirely going to count them as ones and towards my total number of 21, as it feels wrong to bloat my score and say, I did this many attacks for my first year in ArtFight, guys, when in actuality, half of them are unfinished concepts, and it feels a bit disingenuous when some other people have more rendered, polished pieces, and others just got an idea. But I just thought it was important to show I was thinking about a lot of people, especially those who I really want to get a revenge on. But just as life goes, I ran out of time, so I suppose I have to wait till next year. But I think I can safely say I understand the appeal of ArtFight, and I'm quite glad I took part this year. Other than scouring through multiple profiles and pages, seeing everyone's fantastic art and characters, trying to figure out who to draw, I really love the sense of community of it all. From people randomly commenting simple compliments or questions, seeing art servers open ArtFight channels for everyone to promote and share their attacks, and me and my friend group even called more throughout the month, with us all screen sharing the different attacks we were doing and discussing our goal with the piece and why the character jumped out to us. The whole thing made me really excited to do art again, and stirred up all sorts of new ideas and concepts I wanted to try out in my work and on the channel at some point. It truly was an event that made me happy to be an artist, and no matter how shy or insecure I felt, there was always someone to talk to. Will I be taking part next year? Definitely. I'll probably keep my attack goal the same, as I think 20 is a strong number, but perhaps I'll limit myself to just half bodies or less rendered pieces, hopefully better managing my time and making sure I don't burn out, which I luckily managed to avoid this time. I also want to try attacking a lot more random people, especially more fandom OCs like Splatoon or Monster High, as I definitely played it safe with attacks on more friends and neutrals than strangers this year. I also want to give a big thank you to every single one of you for all your attacks, and even more for your sweet messages and comments, because, excuse my language for a second, holy fuck that's a lot. You guys really love Starry and Nana, although Andrea, Dodie and Alpine did also get their time in the sun from a few of you. I tried my best commenting on every attack as soon as possible, however, I did have a weird glitch occur where there were a few pieces I remembered commenting on, as I would comment first and then save the attack, to better keep track of my defenses and who I've replied to. However, upon revisiting like 4 of them from early on, I saw no comment at all. I'm assuming I might have just been commenting too quickly so it wasn't posting them, and either I didn't notice the red warning about it on screen, or it just didn't appear in general. But because of this, after recording, I'm going to go back and do a third triple check to make sure all of you got a reply. And if I somehow manage to miss you again, I'm so sorry. Just shoot me a message and I'll reply ASAP and leave a comment. I said it at the start, but every piece was so beautiful and genuinely heartwarming to me, and one of them even got me to tear up a bit. I'm not saying who to ostracize them or put them on a pedestal above others, as I think everyone's art is equally fantastic and reflects the amount of love and effort so many of you poured into it. It's just that their piece and comment was really sweet and it got me emotional in a way that I just didn't expect. And I just want to say thank you guys all so much, genuinely. But not in a creepy parasocial way, I do just mean thank you. I also mentioned at the start that I'd be showing off all your pieces with credits so you can go check out, follow, or even comment on the specific users' ArtFight accounts. I did consider many ways to go about this. Do I just put them on screen while I'm talking? Do I have a montage like a collage wall scroll by with music? But I think the way I want to go about it is reading out each of the usernames. Since if you guys put so many hours into your pieces, I can at least take a few seconds to read your names out loud. So buckle up, this is probably going to take a few minutes. AlienRattt, Oliorian, Fried Eggs, Saku was here, Exo Elise, Ahoy Doll, The Odd Stoutlet, CJ, muffinzxdd, Fraser Promcheksa, I'm so sorry about that pronunciation, Freaky Seraph, Mixie Creative, Clowny YXY19, Burnt Berry, Lavender Cove Arts, Unimon, Pipartz, Lovebytz, Gomi Gom, Spirits and Crystals, Ali Boxes, Paper Pudding Star, Kiki D, Pigeon Sapling, Soporifics, Hulking Wax, Jazzy is Cool 214, Sadie E Sketches, Gattskin, SimpleIsNoob, Sprouted Nero, Kormeister, Omnigomni, Wummy is on ArtFight, Apple Bubble Soda, Copper24, Bumpy Bumblebee, Crispy Stardust, ShrimplyStatic, Rosemary 2009, Crabapples Inc., Kit T, Herbally Grunge, Wandering Moonflower, Omnipotent Eye, Erioz, Anime Drawatia, Promise, Stella Inc., Car the Noob, Pink Mania 0513, Artsy Tay Anna 01, Nis Official, Monochrome Wolf, Black Bearded Toombat, Umu the Drawer, Jelly Kitties, Butter Milk Eggs, Non-Toxic, Chai Tea, Lemon Sonnet, Sweet Pea 19, Rainy Stones, Pointy Daggers, Pale Pixie, Lava Lil, Von Bites, Machinations, Deity Equinox, Pebbly Narwhal, Kuni Zai, Sylph of Life, Venus NA, Splat Nina, I'm Not a Robot 5. Okay, I think about halfway there now. We got this. Whimsy Rat, Kojo Lame, Void Archive, Blue Artifacts, Xmas Critter, Reed Kirsch, Pogow, Speoff, Endless Cupid 802, A Cutie Pie 2020, Versities, Queeby, .2345, Dipped in Ink, Lady Tanyetta, Zero Star A, Alocowberry, Noah Anime, Ceramic Swan, I Smile, Maslosthingyz, Rivali Trufa, Max Void, Blue Lily, Ravina Ladywood X, Fruity Stars, Oh No It's Leo, Galaxy KT27, T-Posing Shark, I Killed Your Fish, Wait, you what? Whimsy is Bubble. Real Zester 999. Luby Clark. Sad Apple 01. Kawaii Fro. Fairy Creatures & Co. Emerald Rivers. AlienRattt 13. Voilard. But Nobody Came 627. Morning Tricks. Bites You. Yume Bell. Sick Kid. Keiko Kitty 021. Ordeal Siren. Lorpa Art. Bunny Funfetti. Trashy Dashy. Spooky Puppy. Kawaii Cookie 676. Zoyette. Venus Rose Arts. Ninja Panda. Maddie Lion. Junie Drizzle. Pingus Bird 1. Bandit Biscuit. Puffed Pandas. Jay. Silly Sulky Selly. Munkintosh. Suji Doobles. Lovely Quinn. Lazy Turtle Doodles. Red Bua. Mangogo Art. A. Elliot. Kunimo. Firebug. Arikins. Froflossie. One-Eyed Fallen Angel. Fancy Tragedy. Prism Arts. Flowery. Lemon Lime Frog. Frog and Bunny. Storybird 22. Glacier 919. Sick Kid. Again, I'm going to get you. Toasted Worms. Keiko Kitty 021. I'm getting you too. Another one. I'm getting you too. Aurora Alpenrose. Sharky May. Wild Nerd 13. Percy Parch. Leia. Worse and Eat. Chimisann. Jinxed and Hexed. AA. Pumpkin Gen Loser. Super Meat Cute. Balfine. Bubble Hunt. Gels Ferdy. Adria Bun. Toto Deer. Lover Voltage. Magical Toon Girl Drawers. Inkiio. Alana 11037. White Miss Rose. Another Sam. Avena Worm. Apple Fritter. King of Raccoons. Bun Bunyell. Vanny Mizzy. Sunny Arts in the Sky. Boogie Toenail. Club Kitty. Crispy Stardust, again, you're also on the hit list. ScarredLove. Patting Cakes 1. Luen Nanel. Amilocore. T-Posing Shark, which I also didn't know was a double. You're getting got too, you're getting got. Umi the Yummy. No Febreze. Wookiepookie. Thaywick. Skelly Guy. For a third fucking time! Oh my god, Jezebel Jade. Wookiepookie. Thank you all so much for your attacks. And like I said, if anyone jumped out to you, be sure to go check out their profile, leave a lovely comment, or attack them next year. I now want to give a big shout out to my sapling tier patrons for helping support the channel. And also, can't forget a big thank you to my squibbling tier patrons, Half Fictional, Bumby Bumblebee, Emmy Delightful, Sweetbread, Endless Cupid, Fran B, Cassie, A Clovery, and Kuma Cove. Your guys' support helps keep the channel going and these videos at a higher quality. With that, I hope you all had a good day and a fun time watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. See ya!